Good morning, children. So, welcome to the second period for the online classes. So, in the last class, we have studied the point related to the companies, the European companies who started to come toward the India. So, in the earlier class, we have studied about the point related to the Portuguese and the Dutch. So, the next company which become very famous and it was ruled for the long period. That company name is English, or you can call it the British. So, British East India Company was established after the Dutch. We are going to see in India, and these people, the East India Company, which was started in India in the 16th century, it was ruled for the more than 200 years for India. So, the main aim of these all companies we already studied because their aim was to get the trade relationship, to develop the commerce relationship. So, this British also get and point to entry toward the India. So, before this also they have many times came towards India to make the trade relations with the India, but earlier they are following from the Constantinople, but they have started to get the new sea route and get the entry toward the India. So now English has also got entry toward the India to follow the trade relations. So when this British East India Company was started, their rule or the trade development in India is on 31st December 1600. So, one of the queen by the name Elizabeth has issued the permission with a royal charter. It is an act passed by the British queen by the name Elizabeth. And by passing this royal charter, he has given permission to the East India Company. Who see Elizabeth has given the permission to the East India Company to trade with the eastern countries, not only the India. It has permitted to the East India Company to make the trade with the eastern countries. So it means total Asian continent. Among that, English people, the East India Company, first preference they have given to the India because lot of resources, lot of minerals presented in the land of India, and that they want to take toward the European countries. So, first on December 31st in 1600, it was permitted by the British government. So, after that, we are going to see many sailors have visited toward the India to develop the trade relations. So, once they visited in the 1609 also, but it was failed to take the permission from the Indian kings because you know that before arrival of these European countries, India was ruling by the kings. So now after getting entry toward the India, this East India Company has to take the permission from the kings for the development of trade relations. You know that that time the Mughal emperor was ruling in India, and Mughal emperor was a powerful emperor in India. So that time many sailors have visited in the many times. So they have failed in 1609, again in 1611, but at the after many trials, after many struggles, in the 1613, in the 1613, this East India Company belongs to the British, has formally started their business in India with a lot of struggle. They have established, the permission was taken in the 1600, but to achieve the permission from the Indian kings, they have to be struggled for the 13 years. So after 13 years, these people, this East India Company belongs to the British, has succeeded to start their business in the 1613 in India, and it was formally started by the East India Company. But when they have formally started, they have started to develop the relations with the Indian kings also. That time, the Mughal emperor was Jahangir. Jahangir was the king for the Mughal dynasty. So now this East India Company want to take, many people belongs to the British East India Company. They have visited toward the court of Jahangir to get the permission for the purpose of developing their warehouses, because already Dutch and the Portuguese have developed their warehouses in India. Now, after visiting many times toward the Jahangir, Jahangir has issued the royal permission to the East India Company. This Jahangir, who belongs to the Mughal emperor, has issued a royal permission to develop a first warehouses that in the place of Surat. Now, by this way, they have started to develop their permanent settlement in India. So, first achievement they have completed with the permission of the Jahangir by establishing the warehouse at Surat. So, this is the main thing they have achieved to start their business. So, afterwards, many persons who visited toward the India to follow or to continue the trade relations with the India. So that time, the next person we are going to see who arrived in the 1617 by the name Sir Thomas Roe, who arrived to the court of Jahangir as the royal ambassador from the court of James first from the British. So he was one of the royal ambassador who belongs to the court of James first. So he visited in the 1617 toward the India to the court of Jahangir, who was the king for Mughal emperor. And this person, Thomas Roe, want to get the permission from this person to develop the trade and the commerce relations with the European countries. So that time, first he visited toward this court, then he want to get the permission for the establishment of the British factories in India. So, we know that children, earlier they have taken the permission to the entry toward the India. Second point, they have taken the permission to develop their warehouses. Now, the next cunningness policy, which was started by the Thomas Roe to develop the factories in India. So step by step, they want to get the settlement in India. They want to get permanent settlement in India because they sought the idea related to the richness of the Indian land. And due to the richness of this Indian land, they want to develop their factories. So, this Thomas Roe, he sought the permission from the Jahangir to establish the factories in other places of the Mughal emperor. Now, he want to establish the factories to where? At the places related to the Mughal emperor with the help of the Jahangir, who is the king for this emperor. Because the Mughal emperor, which was ruling in the northeastern part of India, this, the Bengal side, that was very rich in the many minerals, many types of richness we are going to see toward the eastern part of India that time, and that richness they want to take support for the purpose of developing the factories. Okay, so by this way he got permission to develop the factories. So at that time, when this English got permission, East India Company got permission, it has started to develop the factories in India. So first time they have developed the factories at Agra, Ahmedabad, and the Broch places. So these are the three places we are going to see. First factories were established by the British East India Company. Later, we are going to see in 1613. So after 1617, in 1639, we are going to see English took the Madras from the king of Chandragiri. So later, they have taken the Madras from the king Chandragiri. Why they have taken this? Because now they want to develop the factories toward the Madras side. So now northeastern side or the Mughal side, they have started their factories. Now they want to get the help of the southern part of India. They want to turn toward the southern part of India. They visited toward the king of Chandragiri and they have taken the permission to establish the factories at Madras in the 1639 and it was become successful. After establishing the, so here when they went, after establishing the fort, they want to develop the permanent settlement in the Madras. Actually, they have taken the permission for the establishment of the factories in the Madras, but East India Company, after getting permission, they have developed the one of the fort by the name the St. George Fort. They have developed the St. George Fort. So now you got idea how the English has started their settlement in India. So by this way, the English has started to develop a permanent settlement in the Madras. Then after we are going to see they turned toward the Bombay in 1668. The entry toward the Bombay. Then after this, so step by step now English has started to move toward the different parts of India to get the occupation. So in 1690 we are going to see English has purchased some villages related to the Bengal. So this place was very rich and they want to get development the relation. So in 1619, English has visited toward the Bengal side. There they have occupied the villages by the name Sutto Nati, then Kalikata, Kalikata, then the next one is Govindapura. Govindapura. So these are the three important places they have taken from the Bengal side for the purpose of development of their permanent settlement and there they have developed the fort by the name Fort William on the bank of the river Hooghly. On the bank of the river Hooghly, they have established the Fort William by the British in the Bengal. Then after we are going to see in the 17th century, they have started to develop their trade relations in India by developing the three center places. One is the Madras, Bombay and the Bengal. By this way, we are going to see British has got a permanent settlement in India for the development of their trade relations with their some civil rights. They have started their own civil rights or civil codes to follow in India with their own plans. So, by this way, the East India Company has controlled the Indian land, occupied the Indian land. This we are going to complete topic by knowing the points related to the how the Britishers completed to success their achievements in India. So next topic is the next company is from the French. So first we have studied about the Portuguese, second we have studied about the Dutch, third we have studied about the British. So next company was French. So this company also became very important in India because these people also have ruled for India for many years. So the first establishment of the East India Company of French was established in the 1664. So you can see children, the French East India Company started as a government owned company in 1664. It means it was purchased from the other company. So like this way, the French has established their rule in India in the year of 1664 by the establishment of the French company. So after getting the establishment of in the 1664, now the process of French was started in India. What is the main aim of these companies was to get the trade relations, to develop the trade relations with the India. So after completion of the British or when the British was ruling in India, that time French has started this rule in the 1664. After that we are going to see they have started a new or they have started a first factory in India in the year of 1668 at the place of Surat. We already know that British have established the first company in the Surat itself. In the same place, the French also established in the 1668 with the aim of the establishment of their rule in India, with the aim of the establishment of their trade and commerce relations with the East India Company. Now, later we are going to see after the occupation of this Surat place or the establishment of the factory at the Surat, we are going to see many places were occupied by the French for the development of their factories. So later we are going to see they have occupied the places like Chandragore, we can see the Machilipatnam, Karaikal, Mahe and Qasim Bazar and the Balasore. These are the important places were occupied by the French after the occupation of Surat in the 1668 for the development of their factories. So by this way the continuity was made by the French to establish their new factories. So again we are going to see in 1764 French took a new place by the name Valikandapuram. It coming in the present Tamil Nadu. So there this was under the control of a other king, but with the help of one of the Muslim officer, this Valikandapuram came under the control of French in the year of 1764. After getting this French has developed Valikandapuram as an important place for the trading center for the French East India Company. So later we are going to see this center is also going to call as the which place we can say a Puducherry or we can going to call as the Pondicherry present. So now this Puducherry or the Pondicherry which was become a important or a major center for the French to develop the trade relations with the Europeans and the India. So this was started in India after getting the occupation of these many places by the French in India. So anyhow, this French has also got an important role to start the business with the India since from the 1664 to the 1764. So that was we are going to see, but after this occupation of the many places, we are going to see the new person who visited India, or already he was doing the business, but he became one of the important person for the French East India Company. The name of that person was Dupleix. So he became the Governor General for the French East India Company in India after the occupation of the many places by the French East India Company. What is the name of that person, children? So the person who became the governor for the French East India Company, who came towards the India and he want to show his power. So what is his name? Dupleix. Now he was the Governor General for French East India Company. But the actual aim of this Dupleix was he want to show more power in India. He want to show his supremacy power in India. So he tried lot to fight against the British and show the power and make the establishment of new factories or the establishment of their permanent places after making the Pondicherry as the capital for the French. So these things we are going to see which was developed by the Dupleix to get the power in the South India. But after knowing the ambitions of the Dupleix, there was the question arise between the French and the English, because one side British was ruling in India and one side this Dupleix who belongs to the French, he want to show the power in South India. So due to the problems arises in the English and the British, we are going to see the important topic rises in India, that is the development of the Carnatic Wars. The development of the Carnatic Wars in between the British and the French. So this we are going to study the important topic, what kind of wars and what is the main aim to start the wars. So children, after the completion of the French rule, we are going to see the competition was started in between the British and the French. So the competition between the English and the French was started for showing their supremacy over the India. So see here, in the 18th century we are going to see the French and the English. What happened? In the 18th century, the French and the English have started to show their supremacy over India. Then how they have started the supremacy? By the development of political things, by getting the relations toward the Indian kings. Now they have started the showing their power in India one by one. That we are going to see. So due to the supremacy showing by these people, the conflict was started in between the British and India. Those conflicts are going to called as the Carnatic Wars. But before going to know the Carnatic Wars, we must have to get the knowledge related to the what kind of kings were ruling in India? Who were the kings ruling in India which were supported to the English and which were supported to the French? So see here children, before going to know the knowledge related to the Carnatic wars, we must have the knowledge about the Hyderabad and the Carnatic regions. It means, so one of the king was ruling at the Hyderabad region and one of the king was ruling at the Carnatic region. So we can see who was ruling at the Hyderabad or who was ruling at the Carnatic region. So see here, the Hyderabad actually was ruling by the Asaf Jah, who has started this kingship or kingdom in the 1724. So this Hyderabad region was started in the 1724 by the name of Asaf Jah, who was ruling regularly here. But one of his feudatory or his feudatory person by the name Dost Ali, who was ruling toward the Carnatic region. But this Dost Ali was not a person who was making support toward the Asaf Jah. He is going to call as he is not a loyal person. He is not a supporter, but he was ruling this Carnatic region. That time we know that in India the Marathas were also ruling in India. At the time of when Dost Ali was ruling toward the Carnatic region and Hyderabad was ruling by the Asaf Jah, that time we are going to see in the 17th or the starting of the 18th century we are going to see the Marathas were also ruling in India. So what happened? These Maratha kings planned to kill the Dost Ali because he was not a direct ruler. He was a feudatory ruler of this Hyderabad region. So that time the Marathas has killed the Dost Ali in the year of 1740. Who was killed? This Dost Ali was killed by the Marathas. The Dost Ali was killed by the Marathas in the 1740 and they have started to loot the Carnatic region. Who started the loot? The Marathas have started to loot the Carnatic region by getting the occupation of this area by killing this Dost Ali. That we are going to see, but that time Asaf Jah, who was the direct ruler for this region, he had not stopped his power. So that time a new person who taken toward the Carnatic region by the Asaf Jah by the name, the person was Anwaruddin. Because when Dost Ali was killed, the son-in-law of this Dost Ali by the name Chanda Sahib was kept under the control of Marathas. They have kept this Chanda Sahib in the prison of Marathas. So that is the main point we are going to study related to the development of the Carnatic wars in between the French and the English. Okay. So before first Carnatic wars, we got the idea related to the competition was started in between the British and the French for the supremacy or showing the power in India. So the first war was started in between the French and the British, that we are going to see in the 1746 to the 1748. This period is going to called as the first Carnatic war in between the French and the British. But this war was not only went with the British and the French. This war was went with the help of the Indian kings. Okay, children. So first Carnatic war was started with the occupation of the Maratha toward the Carnatic regions, because now Chanda Sahib went under the control of Marathas. So that time we know that how this war was started, how this Carnatic war was started in the 1746. So the first important person for the development of this war was Dupleix. So already we got the idea related to the Dupleix. So on the request of the Dupleix, you know, the new person who belongs to the French, who was ruling in Mauritius by the name La Bourdonnais, a French military ruler from the Mauritius, invaded Madras and captured it. So the Dupleix has requested to this La Bourdonnais to come toward the India and help the French. So this La Bourdonnais came to India and occupied the place. He reached from the Mauritius toward the India and occupied or captured the place by the name Madras, which was coming in the Carnatic region. So we know that. Then after getting the occupation of the Madras by the La Bourdonnais, now this point make the British, or this forced the helpless British to request to the new king who was ruling toward the Carnatic region, or a new Nawab who ruling toward the Carnatic region by the name of Anwaruddin. So already know we got the idea. Dostali was ruling before the Anwaruddin. Now this helpless British want to take the support of the Indian king by the name Anwaruddin, the Nawab of Carnatic region. Okay, the Anwaruddin has given the help or sent the military toward the British to help to fight against this La Bourdonnais. But Anwaruddin military was failed to get success with the La Bourdonnais, and the military was defeated from the French. So after getting the defeat from this Anwaruddin military, the war was not completed. So again the British want to take this Madras under their control. So that time what happened, this La Bourdonnais has taken some money from the British, and after getting the money from the British, he has written that Madras, which was coming in the Carnatic region, toward the British. Now this Dupleix has become unhappy and he was failed to success with the British or the British policies by taking the help of La Bourdonnais. So totally this La Bourdonnais has returned toward the Mauritius, from where he came to India with taking some money from the British. So at this point the treaty was signed between the French and the India, because that time the war not only going in India, the war was going in the worldwide. So this treaty is going to called as the Aix-la-Chapelle. The name of the treaty was Aix-la-Chapelle, was the treaty signed between the British and the French, and the war, this treaty also going to called as the War of Austrian Succession, because that time in Austria also we are finding the war where and going with the French and the British. There this Austrian got the succession, so that's why this treaty is going to called as the War of Austrian Succession. So children, you know, got the idea related to the how the occupation of this Madras was made by the La Bourdonnais and returned again to the British by taking the money. So that time this Dupleix, who was happy with the occupation of Madras, become unsuccessful. So that time he became very angry toward the La Bonaves and attempted to take the Madras, but he was failed. And that time this treaty was signed. Okay children, after this I will stop the topic today. But some important point I want to tell with you, what we have studied in this today's topic. You have to get the reading of our textbook, revise it, and once you get the page number 4, we are finding the location of the French East India Company and the British East India Company locations. So draw the map of India, locate the places. So by this way I will complete today's class. I will continue the second Carnatic War in the next class.